Well, hello there, space nerds! Today, we're blasting off with some insane space facts that will leave your brain floating in zero gravity. The universe is super mysterious and way weirder than you might think. Let's go on an exploration together, shall we? Okay, if you ever fall into a black hole, I have very bad news for you. You are not coming back. But before you disappear forever, something incredible weird will happen to your body. As you get closer to a black hole, the force of gravity becomes way stronger on your feet than on your head. This difference in gravitational pull will stretch you into a long, thin noodle. A noodle. Scientists actually call this process spaghettification. You might think I'm joking, but no. Real scientists agreed on that name, spaghettification. So, if you're ever at a point where you're getting too close to a black hole, just remember, you're about to turn into the saddest plate of pasta in the universe. RIP, space spaghetti. Do you know the feeling of chugging a soda and letting out a huge burp afterwards? Pretty satisfying, right? But if you're in space, you'd have to think twice about doing that. On Earth, gravity helps separating the liquids, the solids, and the gases in your stomach. That's why you can burp without, bringing anything extra unwanted up. But in zero gravity? Liquids, gases, and solids are all mixing together in your stomach into a weird space soup. So if astronauts try to burp, it's not just air that comes up, it's food too. They call that a wet burp. And let's just say that is not pleasant at all. So we all know space is a vacuum. That means there is no air to carry smells. But astronauts who were on spacewalks said that when they came back inside, their suits had a very distinct smell. They describe it as smelling like seared steak, welding fumes, and gunpowder. Basically, like someone had a backyard barbecue in the middle of a war zone. Scientists believe the smell comes from dying stars that release high energy particles that react with the oxygen inside the spacecraft. But personally, I think that space smells like a huge barbecue that is waiting for us to dig in! This next one is going to break your head a little. Ready? Venus takes 243 Earth days to rotate on its axis. But at the same time, it only takes 225 Earth days for Venus to go around the Sun. That means that a single day on Venus is longer than an entire year. Oh, and here's a little bonus fun fact for you, okay? Are you ready? Venus is spinning in the opposite direction of most planets. Meaning that the sun is rising in the west, but setting in the east. Venus is basically the rebel of the solar system. I have bad news for you moon lovers. The moon is slowly breaking up with Earth. It is drifting away by 3.8 centimeters a year. That does not sound super much, right? But over millions of years, it really adds up. In the far future, the moon is so far away that we don't get any total solar eclipses anymore. Instead of the dramatic moment where the sun is completely covered by the moon, we only get super lame partial eclipses. So enjoy those eclipses while you can. Jupiter and Saturn are basically flexing on us because scientists think that they have diamond rains. Their atmospheres have crazy high pressures, which will turn carbon into solid diamonds, which then fall down like raindrops. Some scientists estimate that these storms could create millions of carats of diamonds. So, if you could go mining there, you would be the richest person in the universe. Meanwhile, we're just stuck here with boring old water rain, and I think that's not fair. Not every planet gets a sun. Some of them get yeeted out of the solar system and just float alone in the darkness forever. These are actually called rogue planets, and they do not orbit a star. They just wander endlessly through space, freezing cold and completely alone. So if you ever feel lost in life, just remember, at least you're not a rogue planet. Somewhere in the Milky Way, there's a massive cloud of alcohol. Scientists call it Sagittarius B2, and it's big enough to fill 400 trillion pins of beer. But it is not drinkable. It is mostly methanol, which is toxic to humans. But still, space is out here hosting the biggest happy hour ever. Alright, Lord of the Ring fans, prepare yourself to freak out. Because the universe has its own Eye of Sauron. And no, I'm not making that up. And no, this is not far-fetched. It's a binary star system called Fomalhaut, and it is surrounded by a huge glowing dust ring. When astronomers took a picture of it, they realized that it exactly looks like the fiery eye of Sauron from the Lord of the Rings. The resemblance is so creepy that some researchers even call it Sauron's eye in research papers. So, should we be worried? Is it Dark Lord secretly watching us from space? Just in case someone should get Frodo on the line. Do you know what bananas and the planet Saturn have in common? Both can float on water. It's a bit harder for the planet because you would need a container that can hold that much water, but both can float. That's because Saturn is mostly made out of gas that is way less dense than water. So, if you would put it in a cosmic swimming pool, it would just bob around like a giant space rubber ducky. Too bad we do not have any planet-sized bathtubs, right? But maybe NASA? Huh. A lot of people think that space is super far away. But guess what? You could technically drive there within an hour. The Kármán line, the official edge of space, is just 100 kilometers up there. If you could drive straight up at highway speeds, which is around 100 kilometers per hour, you would reach space within 1 hour. That's even faster than some people's daily commute. Of course, cars cannot drive straight up, and there are no gas stations in space yet, so you will still need a rocket. But it's wild to think that space isn't that far away. It's basically just a road trip up. If you thought that supernova explosions are scary, wait until you hear about gamma ray bursts. These things are basically the most OP weapons in the whole universe. Gamma ray bursts happen when massive stars collapse into black holes, releasing an explosion so powerful that in just a few seconds, they release more energy than our sun will in its entire 10 billion years lifespan. Yeah, you should let that sink in. If a gamma ray burst would happen close to Earth, it would vaporize our atmosphere and turn us into space dust. Beautiful space dust. Luckily, they usually happen in distant galaxies, so we're safe. For now. Who knew that space was this mind-blowing? Let me know your favorite space-related whatever in the comments. If you love these facts, there are way more waiting for you. Just click here and you will get there. Until next time, stay awesome, stay curious, and keep looking up.